All right, hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out as always. So a bit of a different video for me today. I wanted to actually go through a bit of a deck tech and some gameplay. I'm really excited about Vynnset, our new Shadow Runeblade hero. Chain back in the day was sort of my first love in Flesh and Blood. Played a lot of Chain in CC, got quite good at the deck. And so I was really excited for our new Shadow Runeblade hero. And so I wanted to play test her immediately. And so I've built up a deck. I'll chat through some of the decisions I've made so far. I've gotten lots of reps on Talishar, which is surprising because I don't often play a lot of Talishar. I mostly play in person. But I'm just too excited. This is immediately prior to pre-release, War of the Monarch. So I'm gearing up for my pre-releases tomorrow, couple tomorrow, one on Sunday as well. But in the meantime, I've been playing with Vynnset. Really fun. Is she S tier? Don't know. There might be an optimal build out there and a proper way to pilot her that would push her up. I do think she feels quite strong. So let's take a look at the deck and jump onto Talishar and play some games. All right, so here's the list that I've settled on so far. I've come up with a bit of a core, what feels good to me. Again, you know, this is not necessarily the optimal way to build Vynnset. It's just fun, and it's what I've been, enjoying. Made a few observations along the way. I have gotten quite a few reps on Talishar, so I'm not saying this is the optimal build. It's just what I've settled on so far. Please, if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments section. There's a couple cards I've flip-flopped on. But this is what I've settled on so far. So, equipment-wise, Carrion Husk, amazing. 6 blocks, so any matchup that I think I'm just trying to race, I'm going to be running Husk. Otherwise, if I'm trying to dirtle a little bit, or if I know that the hero across the table is likely going to try and fatigue me, I sub in the Carapace, which is really cool too. New piece of equipment. Crown of Providence, pretty much the only headpiece or the best option that I've come up with for Vynnset. I am running Flail, not super impactful. There's a strong argument to be made to run Rosetta Thorn. Do you often have the resource left over after a go again? I don't know, but Flail feels impactful here and there, but it's definitely not super impactful. I've played around with Scepter a little bit. There are definitely use cases for Scepter. I don't have it in the list. I just haven't had room for it. But there's an argument to be made to play around with that. It's really strong in that it allows you to preserve those rune chants at the end of your turn. So Flail can consume those if you have some floating. So yeah, interesting. Maybe there's another weapon for Vynnset out there. Grimoire is an interesting one. I am running it just because it's this, you could run both Scepter and Flail, but the chances of you of both being in fact impactful relatively slim. So Grimoire can be very impactful, especially if you need to get off a read the runes before another or your first rune gated attack. So it's in there and it comes up every once in a while. Spellbound Creepers, I think this is probably one of my favorite pieces of equipment in the game. So I'm of course gonna run them. It's shenanigans on a card, big wall of text, amazing card, and there's lots that can be done here. And I've probably only scratched the surface. I'll talk about one piece of spicy tech that I think is really interesting for the deck that relies on that Creeper's activation. So we'll come back to that, but there's so much. This opens up so much opportunity to do some sneaky stuff. I've settled on Vexing Quillhand. I was running Grasp, which I still have in the sideboard. So I haven't fully committed to taking it out of the deck list yet, but it doesn't feel great. So, you're banishing at the beginning of your turn no matter what. That's Vynnset's ability, right? So you have to banish something from hand at the beginning of your turn. That creates you a rune chant. So at best, Grasp is making you a rune chant for a blue. So you have to pitch a blue to make a second rune chant, which can be important, but I don't want that to be my default. I don't want that to be my safety net because you're losing at that point. So there are other ways or better ways of making rune chants, leaving yourself rune chants at the end of your turn, trying to set up for another impactful turn, or trying to set up to have a smooth start to your next turn without relying on holding back a blue to pitch to grass to get that second one to get you to that side of sort of rune gate break point for the 2 cost one. So it's out. I much rather rely on vexing for those situations where I'm really in a bind, you know, those one or two turns where I don't have that buffer at the beginning of my turn. I can pop vexing to either get off a 3, because I'm probably going to have a rune. Well, of course, you're going to banish with Vynnset. You probably have 1 rune chant, create 2 more. That opens up your whole field. You can play any of your things, 3 costs, other than the 4 costs Annihilation. But anyways, this feels really good. I'm trying to go through relatively quickly so we can get to some gameplay and just try it out, right? Because that's the best way to learn and see how the deck feels. So Deathly Delight, pretty good, and I run it in blue. Blue's an obvious choice. Red as well. You know, there's an argument to be made. I probably pull these out into Prism. It does feel a little bit awkward as a 5 power. So into Prism so far, I think I pull out Deathly Delight and trading them for Widespread Demolition or Destruction, Widespread Destruction. Yeah, I guess I can click on these. I don't know why I'm not making them bigger. I'm sorry, everybody. New to this, so Widespread Destruction in over Deathly Delight against Prism, just for that 6 attack. This is in the sideboard for now, not super relevant. The on hit is not super relevant for every hero, so I'll side it in. This Deathly Wail, all 9. Like, I pulled some out for some reason. I was only running the reds, or the reds and the blues. Of course, you run the blues no matter what. The reds and the blues, I put in the yellows because this is just such a good card. It's so important to make those rune chants and bank them at the end of your turn, and that's just what this does. So this just makes the deck go burr. This is what gets your engine going, and I don't see a way around running 9. I might be wrong here, but I don't think I am. I think you just run 9 Deathly Wail. They're just too good. And they just make the deck run. So 9 of those for sure. Envelop in Darkness, I was only running the reds originally. This is another one just that gets you out of a bind. It pumps your rune gate. It does a lot. The only downside to it is that it blocks for 2. If this blocked for 3, it's like the craziest card in this deck. So I put the yellows in just to, again, smooth functioning of the deck. I did play with, so you could consider, depending on how your resources line up. So this costing only 1 still allows me to do some interesting creeper shenanigans. It allows me to come in with like a 2 power thing later. So I really like it. I did play with Oath of the Arknight, which I still run in blue. Oath of the Arknight red is something you might want to consider depending on how you build the deck, depending on how your resources line up for the turn sort of thing. So, but for now I'm running yellow Envelop in Darkness as well as the reds, and I think it feels quite good. Malverian Skies in the core, so I should mention I have a 51 card main deck, which I then just in my larger sideboard, I put in 9 cards depending on the matchup. So this 51 cards is the core that I've come up with, the stuff that I basically want to run every round. So reds and blues for the Malverians. It's just so obvious. It presents an on hit that your opponent just has to respect, because this gives go again. It's gonna make you 3 rune chance if it hits, and if that's the case, you're likely coming in with another scary rune gate attack afterwards, which your opponent does not want you to do, because you can easily present like 20 plus damage if you can go too wide, which is very insane. So reds and blues, I do have the yellows in my sideboard, so I side the yellows in. I'll come to the sideboard in a bit, but I do sub the yellows in matchups where I'm trying to really race. Read the runes, obvious. Create 3 rune chant tokens. Doesn't have go again, so this is one of those situations where Grimoire can come in, and Grimoire plus Spellbound Creepers plus Read the Runes is also can be quite interesting. Giving it go again, playing it at instant speeds, you can either bank that depending on how your turn plays out, if you already have go again, stuff like that, or it can just replenish your action point. Anyways, So read the runes, makes 3 rune chants. It can be played at the end of your turn as well. If you have go again to set up for your next turn, it just makes a lot of sense. I am only running 2 because I felt like it was more of a... It just felt a little bit clunky on some turns. So I don't want to see it all the time. I might be wrong on that. It might just be good enough to run 3 of. So I'm running 2 for now. You can argue with me in the comment section. Reduced to rune chant. Too good. So this is the only defense reaction. I have 6 more defense reactions in the sideboard. This is the only one I run in the core, no matter what. It does everything you want to do. If you finish your turn with a Deathly Wail, you're going to have at least 1 rune chant, if not 2 at the end of your turn. There are other ways of getting, banking a rune chant if you end your turn with Flail, etc. So if you have a rune chant at the end of your turn, which often you do and you want to, this is free, blocks for 4, makes your rune chant. So like a 0 for 5, essentially. 5 value, too good not to play. It can feel a little awkward if you don't have that rune chant, but pitching something to it is not the end of the world if it allows you to kind of like stop a breakpoint or something. So reduce the rune chant in the deck. Rune Blend Incantation is just one of those setup cards. Great on turn 0. Great on most turns. It has go again. It does require you to basically keep a 3-card hand minimum. So you're going to banish 1, you're going to keep 1 for pitch, and then you can set up here before you come in with your rune gated card or attack. So, but it's just, it feels really good. It helps set up for the next 3 turns, so you don't have to worry so much. It also makes the deck run smoothly, so it's in there. This is the one that we could argue about and that I could be persuaded against. So Shadow Puppetry, it's in the deck. The go again, like being able to threaten the 2 rune gate attacks in a given turn, really good way to put your opponent on the back foot. So I'm, essentially, if I'm siding in the yellow Malverian Skies trying to race, I am running 12 go again attacks. The shadow comes up once in a while, so the fact that it's a shadow allows you to pay a life. That you want to do if you're playing Deathly Wail, because then you're likely to get 2 rune chants or bank 2 rune chants at the end of your turn if you take a damage and your opponent takes a damage. So it feels pretty good. Also, the banish can be, if you only have 1 rune gate attack in your banish zone, you could get lucky and pop 1 in on hit. So I like Shadow Puppetry. The +1 is not irrelevant either. So it's in there for now. It feels pretty good. I'm on the fence. There's potential, if the 12, if I find that the 12, go again non-attacks is a bit too much, then this one might come out. I don't think I would pull out Yellow Malv over it. So Yellow Malverian Skies might just come into the main deck if Shadow Puppetry leaves. But for now, it's in, and it feels pretty good. Phantom Wraith, meh. 2 is a really, really good one. So if you just have 1 banked, either from Runeblood Incantation, or a Deathly Wail on hit, or reduced to rune chant. So you can see there's lots of ways of making rune chants on your opponent's turn or prior to the beginning of your turn. So these 2 costs or rune gate cards, so you only need 2 rune chants to play it out, and 2 is really, really easy to do. You have the 1 banked, you get the second one by using Vynnset's ability, just banishing from hand. So it's like a free, well, not free, but it feels free. You banish Phantom Wraith, you can play it. So you can basically keep this in hand. So a few of these. So Deathly Delight is also that 2, which feels really good. Deathly Wail requires a little more setup, right? So you need to be a little more thoughtful about this, but it's not difficult to get to 3. So Phantom Wraith, just 2 for 6, good. Same thing with Widespread Rune. That 2, the on hit, not really that relevant. It can be relevant to you if you banish a card that allows you to go wide and bank that Runegate card in your banish zone for next time. It can be good. So yeah, but essentially 2 for 6. The blues I have, so I already talked about, blue Deathly Delight, blue Deathly Wail, blue Mauve Skies. Oath of the Arknight. So I mentioned I did play with the reds a little bit. It's sort of like, so essentially I took the reds out in exchange for the yellow Envelop in Darkness. It does the same-ish thing. So it makes you a rune chant. So if on your turn you need a rune chant, you know, to get to that 3 for Deathly Wail, or even to get to that 2 if you weren't able to bank one for a Phantom Wraith or a Widespread Ruin, it allows you to do that. It pumps your attack on blue +1, on red +3. So you could play with either one. I have it in blue because I'm happy to pitch with it. I'm happy to block with it. It's a 3 block, which is amazing. It does cost 2, so that's why I took the reds out. Felt a little clunky, but on blue, it can get you out of a bind, but it's really, really good to pitch, really, really good to block. So it has everything going for it. I really like this blue. Oblivion you run because it's fun. It's a one of fun of, but early game, like if you're turn 0 and you don't want to allow your, like often turn 0, like read the runes. So an argument for 3 read the runes on turn 0, it's amazing. You can just bank a bunch. You can end up with like 4 rune chants by just banishing and playing read the runes on turn 0. Not hard to get to 6. If you happen to draw into Oblivion on turn 1 or turn 2, I guess, you're cooking with gas, right? So you can play out Oblivion, and I've gotten it out a couple times. It's a one of course, it's legendary. So not always going to come up, but it can come up, and it's not that hard to get to 6. So obvious inclusion. It doesn't block, but you know, that's not the end of the world. Widespread Annihilation, just good. It is 4, which is a little more challenging than the 2 and 3 for rune gating, but definitely not impossible and not that difficult. Okay, so this is maybe where the Vexing Quillhand can get you out of a bind if you want to play this. Very, very relevant on hit. So when, and they're not even on hits, I'm calling them on hits, which is wrong. They should need to take damage, even if they just take a rune chant damage, which they often do if you're presenting, like, well, in this case, you're presenting 4 ahead of this attack. So they'd have to pitch very awkwardly to block all 4. They're probably taking damage even from your rune chant, so it doesn't matter if it hits. If they've taken damage, the on hit or whatever this ability triggers. So when the combat chain closes, each opponent who has lost life, or each hero, so yourself included, banishes a card from hand. So you don't want to pay the cost, you don't want to pay life. You probably don't want to banish a card from hand, but maybe you do. Maybe you want to bank that rune gate card for your next turn. So breaking the chain is something you want to think about as well, especially Deathly Wail. So anyways, before I get into that, Widespread Annihilation, obvious inclusion. Think about breaking the chain. This might come up in our Talishar game, so I'll make sure to talk about it. Deathly Wail, for example. If I play a Shadow non-attack, so like an Envelop in Darkness or a Shadow Puppetry, and I know I'm about to play Deathly Wail, I'm going to pay the 1 life. I'm going to play Deathly Wail. I'm presenting a bunch of rune chants, Deathly Wail. If the opponent takes damage, that's 2 heroes that have taken damage. So you close the chain, that gives you 2 rune chants. So Envelop in Darkness, not going to give you Go again, but if I do Envelop in Darkness, Mob Skies or something, or I don't know. Anyways, let's say Shadow Puppetry, Deathly Wail. I close the chain after I attack with Deathly Wail. It has Go again from Shadow Puppetry. It makes me 2 rune chants if I've taken damage, and my opponent has taken damage. Those 2 rune chants might be enough for me to come in with a Phantom Wraith, a Deathly Delight, a Widespread Ruin, or if I want to like break Vexing, I could come in with a Widespread Annihilation. That's a crazy turn, right? So think about breaking the chain. It's not uncommon, or it might be something you want to consider doing if you want that, what I'm calling on hit, if you want that ability, that beneficial trigger essentially to pop. So something to consider, which is different for this hero for sure. My sideboard. So lots of pieces for aggro here. This is my spicy tech. Okay, I'm pretty high on this. I'm only running 2 because it's a pretty specific use case. You have to be running creepers. You have to have the right amount of resources for it. So the idea, present an attack, whatever. Let's just say we have a rune chant banked. We banish Phantom Wraith, come in with Phantom Wraith. doesn't seem like a very scary attack, right? So, and because this is not, well, maybe Phantom Wraith is not a great example. Because these are not on hits, they often just don't care. If they've taken a rune chant, this is going to happen no matter what. So if they don't cover up the 6, not the end of the world, right? Well, they're not expecting this. So if, let's say it's a widespread ruin, they don't, you know, they took a rune chant, so this is going to happen regardless. They cover up 4 or 5 of the 6, or they don't cover up any of it. As a reaction, you activate creepers, so you have to pitch 1 into creepers, which allows you to play, put a bind counter on it, play a non-attack action as an instant. Then you play, and this doesn't even need go again, right? So you play Widespread Ruin, no go again, no problem. As a reaction, pitch 1 to creepers, creepers in Bloodspill Invocation. Bloodspill Invocation costs 1, so if you can pitch a yellow or a blue to achieve this. It has go again, so it restores your action point. Even if your attack didn't have go again, this does, and you're playing it at instant speed, so it does not consume an action point. It restores your action point. When an attack action card you control hits, destroy Bloodspill Invocation, then create 3 rune chant tokens. So this is awkward, right? Because if this persists, so when your hero is dealt damage, destroy this. So if you play this like at end of turn, you're taking a huge risk. So I really only have this in the deck for that really surprise a sneak attack sort of thing. So if an attack is about to hit, I can creepers this in for 1, and then it's during reaction, so they can still react in response to this. But if they don't have any defense reactions, they're taking, which is often the case, they're taking whatever damage that they didn't cover up from Widespread Ruin, for example, and this pops immediately, makes you 3 rune chants, and it restores your action point. So right away, you can follow that up with like a Deathly Wail that you have banked with most of anything. So awesome. Particular use case, so I'm only running 2, but I do side these in against aggro decks if I want that kind of surprise element, or if I want to really push those 2 wide turns, which is what you want to be doing if you're trying to race. Revel in Runeblood is another one of those. So again, I'm only running 2 because it can feel awkward. You need to, you know, check it's a big ask, right? You need to be playing a non-attack action, playing an action, or an attack. Then you can play this out, and even just playing this out and swinging with Flail is sometimes good enough, because this represents 4 rune chant tokens. But often those 4 rune chant tokens is enough to open up your rune gate cards if you've banked 1 or 2. So again, I'm only running 2. It can be that finisher. It can be that thing that pushes you over the edge towards the end game if you do have momentum. So 2 of, maybe you run 3. It is very good, but again, it can be clunky. It can be awkward. So 2 of, for me. More aggro pieces, Spellblade Assault. Argument to be made that it's in the core. I don't know how I feel. I feel like most circumstances I want, like Deathly Wail, 100% over Spellblade Assault, because it represents 4 or 5 or 6 attack, and it does the same thing essentially. It's going to make you at least 1, if not 2 rune chants, and it's free if you rune gate it. So 1,000 times better. Spellblade Assault can be quite good though. Either as a starter, if you don't have the rune chants banked, if you can like Mob Skies into Spellblade Assault or give go again into Spellblade Assault, makes 2 rune chants, it opens up your rune gate cards, or you end the chain with it. So you rune gate with go again, you end with Spellblade Assault, and you bank those 2 rune chants for the beginning of your next turn. It hasn't felt super great for me, so it's in my sideboard for now. I'm running 2 of them, and they come in versus aggro, allowing me to go wide, set up, that kind of stuff. So again, I could be persuaded to think differently on this card. For now, this is where I've landed. Yellow Mob Skies, I've explained already, just to allow for that second attack, the go again, that really threatening on hit of creating 2 rune chant tokens, which basically opens up most of your rune gate cards. So yellow in the sideboard, maybe you just put it in the core, and maybe Shadow Puppetry goes in the sideboard. I don't know. So Mob Skies there, it comes in aggro when I'm trying to race. So essentially, the 9 I'm putting in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's my aggro package. Blood Spills, which I really like. I think it's quite spicy. Revels, Assaults, and Mob Skies. you can kind of change your game plan, and rather than try to push consistently 2, you can, you know, even the core can do that, can achieve that. But instead of trying to consistently push 2 attacks wide, you can take a step back, put in these really impactful, often defense reactions. Sigil of Suffering is good. It does deal an arcane often. Blocks for 4 if you've dealt arcane, blocks for 3 otherwise. You could just put Fate Foreseen in here as a replacement, but this was too flavorful, so I've included it. Sink Below is just amazing, so that's in. Chains here, specific use case, it completely bamboozles Lexi, you know, turns off 3 of a kind, interacts interestingly with other cards, you know, can be good against ninja, stuff like that. So it's in there, and it's also a blue, which you might want to side in against Icelander, which I would also side in Widespread Destruction. For people like Azuri, Icelander, people that want to, even Katsu, want to have an arsenal card. So yeah, these pieces here, Sigil, Sink Below, depending on how many defense reactions or how defensive I want to be in a given matchup. Widespread Destruction for that threatening your arsenal, opponent's arsenal, and chains for those specific use cases, or if I just need more blues. So that's where I've settled so far. Definitely some tweaks to be made. Definitely, I'm not claiming I'm piloting it in the most optimal way, and I'm not building it in the most optimal way, but this is feeling fun, and I think that's all that matters for now. So I already talked about these. So Carapace, again, if you're worried about being fatigued out, Husk can drain you over time, so you just run Carapace. Also represents Arcane Barrier 2, so without much effort, you have AB 4 against Wizard. With Carapace, Vexing Quillhen, which you might break, but that's fine, because if you don't break Grimoire, you're down to 3. So Arcane Barrier 3 is amazing too. So no issues with Arcane Barrier, just playing stuff that you already want to be playing, which is awesome. So that's the deck. I'm going to jump onto Talishar here. We're going to get some games in and see how it goes, and then we'll wrap up and chat a little bit. Cool. All right, so we got a Dory. See how this goes. So, I don't know if I've played a Dory. This is gonna be an interesting matchup. Do I want to just race? And this is probably wrong. My default, I just want to play the deck. Like I want to have fun. So my default is trying to just push. No, against Dory, I really need to be running more defensive. So I'm gonna pull out some of these. I'm gonna put in the Sink Belows. Let's try Sigil, see how it feels. Let's pull out the Spell Blades. Let's pull out let's just try defensive. Yeah, I think Husk was the right choice there. I should have thought about that, but we'll see how this goes. Again, the deck is still capable of going wide just with the core, so I think... Ooh, this is going to be different. Okay. What is happening here? Decimator Great Axe. Pay 3 as an attack. First time it's defended by non-attack, non-equipment each turn. Half the base value. Whoa. Of defense. Sharpened Steel. Interesting. Of what? Non-equipment. Oh god, so this bamboozles attack or defense reaction. So I've made a terrible mistake. I should have probably just raced this story, but this is an interesting new build that's happening, obviously. So it's going to be quite difficult to... So the first one, so if I block and defense react, it shouldn't affect my defense reaction. So that might be okay. So I'm going to block here. I'm going to move to... So that's going to half that. So it's still going to hit, but that's fine. Actually, I could have just given my hand. Whatever. React. We're going to make some mistakes. It's fine. So am I reading this right? The first time this is defended by a non-equipment card each turn. Half the base defense of target defending card. Oh, target. How does this work? Interesting. I don't know what just happened. I don't understand this card. First time this is defended by a non-equipment card. Each turn. Half the base defense of target defending card. 3 becomes 2. I don't think that happened. Okay. I already have a rune chant from our defense reaction, so that's great. So I just need to choose what I want to be playing here. I'm not going to be able to go too wide, unfortunately. I can give it go again, so I could follow it up with a flail, maybe. So we're just going to do that. Let's play Shadow Puppetry. I don't care to pay the life. I'm really like snap paying life if I'm playing Deathly Wail. Otherwise, not really. We'll play... Yeah, I wish I had a Deathly Wail right now. Widespread Ruin has a bit of a... And it gets pumped 1 from Shadow Puppetry, so that's good. Does have that trigger, so if Dory decides to take damage, which she already did, so no matter what, that's happening, right? So she's going to lose the top of her deck. If I decide to lose life, which I might, if I follow up with Flail, excuse me, I will also banish the top of my deck, which could help me out. It allows me to banish, potentially bank a Rune Gate card. No reactions. Just taking damage. I don't want to banish Oath of the Arcanite, so I'm going to say no. And I don't really have much of a follow-up, so I'm going to present Flail. They could take it and allow me to bank a Rune Chant, which would be great. But not much to do with the cards in hand. If I had Pitch, I could just play one of these out from hand, but 2 red's a little awkward. I'll put 1 in Arsenal, and we can crown it out, worst case. No reaction. So they're not going to let me have my Rune Chant, which is fine. So we're going to pass to Arsenal. I'm going to jam this 2 in there. More reds. More reds. We are running 16 blues, I believe, which is a good number, I think. But axes. +2 and dominate. Oh, no. This is an axe. A big axe. Axe Dory. So, we are dominated. I don't need both of these Rune Gate cards. I'm gonna next turn I'm gonna be banishing something. I'm gonna be playing out this Enveloped in Darkness, which is gonna allow me to play it out. So I'm probably gonna banish this Widespread Ruin, so I'm happy to give them, because I'm not gonna be able to play Runeblood Incantation out. So I'm gonna give them Deathly Delight, I'm gonna give them Crown, and I'm gonna sink my Arsenal to see, nope, if we can draw into some resources, which would have allowed me to play the Runeblood Incantation as well. So, okay, this is where the halving happens. So this turned into a 2, and this turned into, or well, this stayed at 2, so that's fine. No problemo. I think we just bank the mobs, guys, because we don't have an impactful enough follow-up. So I think I'm just going to do... What happened? They backed up. Okay, whatever. We'll do the same thing. Sure. This. It's also, I think, difficult to gauge a deck on Talishar, especially like a lot of people are... What's going on? A lot of people are practicing new cards, right? So it's not going to be optimal. Oh, needed to give it go again, I guess. Whatever. We'll do the same thing. I mean, this is a new build, obviously, right? So that's fine. We're learning. Sure. I can never remember what these things do. +1. 7 dominate. Okay. Do we care? Sure. You can deal me some damage. I regret going the defensive route. But here we are. I guess you never know what you're gonna get with Dory these days. Maybe that's a new thing. Okay, let's go. Cool. Cool. Okay. Boom. 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 No. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you want to try and banish that Rune Gate card. Maybe you pay life here, I don't know. But even this, right? That was essentially a 3-card hand, right? I kept the 4th because I want to pop this in Arsenal, but 3-card hand, and we're presenting, what, 11 damage? Yeah. This coming in for 9, gets buffed from Envelop in Darkness. Makes the rune chant that brings us to the 2. So a 3-card hand for 10, for 11, 12. What am I talking about? Not bad. Not bad. And they don't seem to want to be blocking very much, which is good for us. So even with our defensive build that I chose here for this matchup, probably incorrectly, we are still able to basically race, right? They presented quite a bit last turn, but we're doing okay, I think. That's a card. Yep, that's 3 cards. Thank you. Thank you for your cards. We're winning if we're in that, because we can play out hands with far less. So we're just going to pop this into Arsenal and move on happily. Oof. This is a bit rough. This doesn't happen very often. We don't have any Rune Gate cards. This is going to be a setup turn, unfortunately. So we're just going to defense react on this. I have 2 defense reactions, and I don't have a banked Rune Gate card, so I'm just going to have to pitch one for the other. But we're not going to be able to achieve very much on our turn, unfortunately. So, do we overblock then, maybe? I already have a Mauve Skies, so maybe we just do this. Pass. That goes down to 1 block. This. Pitching this. Makes us a rune chant. Blocks it out. I think we're fine with that on our turn. Do we want to... If we swing Flail, we're trading 2 rune chants for 1. We take a damage, they take a damage. I don't think it's worth it. That's the thing about Flail. You gotta really think about it. So, well, I didn't have any pitch, but Scepter would have preserved the rune chants if I did have pitch there. So yeah, I regret the defensive build for this matchup. Uh-oh. It's okay. We'll see what it's like to be on the back foot for a little bit. 6. So I have 2 defense reactions, which would cover it up. Next turn, I still need to banish something though. That's the other thing to consider. If I want to play this out, I need to keep 3 cards. Well, let's try and sink into something. Why not? It's only going to block 2 though, which is awkward. That's okay, we can take some damage. Let's react. Now, the first time this is defended by a non-equipment card each turn. Defended, maybe reactions don't, maybe I'm not understanding. I want to sink. This, I think. Ah, no. Where are my Rune Gate cards? So, deck's not running super smoothly right now, and this can happen. This is the Runeblade curse, right? I'm going to draw into all of my Rune Gate cards soon, because we haven't, like, we've seen a few. Yeah, we've seen a few. We're just in a pocket of non-attack actions and defense reactions, which I self-inflicted, but... what do we want to get rid of? We want to set this up, so it doesn't really matter. We either pitch. What do we want more in deck for late game, if it comes to that? It's not going to come to that, but... Let's banish the Mauve Skies. Let's set this up and pass, I guess. That's okay. That's okay. They're not really presenting anything crazy on the other side of the table either, so... Okay, now we're talking. Oh, we are one rune chant away from Oblivion, which is too fun. It's too fun. I might try and fandangle something there. I'm curious about something. I don't know how it works. Okay, 8. That's a lot. So, something I wanted to test. You need to have exactly 6 rune chants. What if you attack and 1 pops? So if you have 7, you attack, 1 pops. This is an instance. You should be able to play it. You then control 6, right? I'm going to test that. I think it's just fun. I want to banish Widespread Ruin. I want a Mauve Skies into... I want a Vexing, maybe. Mauve Skies, Widespread. I want to see if Oblivion works. And I'll keep this Mauve Skies for pitch or for Arsenal. So I can give you Deathly Wail. Block for 2, though. I'm saving Husk. I don't care. Deal damage. Let's do fun things. This is why I get into trouble. This is also why I default to the aggro build, because I just want it. I want to hit. I want to hit hard. Ugh. 6 this time. Okay, you can have Husk. It's fine. I should have just given the Deathly Wail. It just doesn't feel good to block for 2. Okay, we're banishing Widespread Ruin. We're at 5. We're at 5. There's no way to come up with 6 after my attack. So I think I'm trying something, just because it's fun. We're going to break Quillhan. It's going to bring us to 7. We're going to play Mauve Skies. We're going to play Widespread Ruin. And we're going to see if we can play... Yes, we can. I love that. We're going to instant speed Oblivion after the first rune chant pops. We're going to make a big, scary Nazareth. I'm so glad that this happened. This is so much fun. We're going to hit them with a lot of rune chants. We're going to come in with Widespread Ruin. I'm a happy boy. Now they have to Great Axe my Nazareth, unless they want to get smashed. They're also going to have to give me lots of cards here if they don't want me to make 3 rune chant tokens. I don't have an obvious threat in my banished, obviously. I could simply pitch Mauve Skies to follow this up with the Deathly Wail, which might be the play. Depending on how they block here. Do they have a defense reaction, I wonder? It doesn't feel like a very defensive build, but maybe. I have no reactions. What you got? Nothing. You're gonna give me 3 rune chants. You're very generous. So Nazareth, I think I just attacked with Nazareth, right? The soul thing's gonna be like, but this doesn't pop my rune chants. I have so many options, right? I'd never have this many options. I could pitch my Mauve Skies for Deathly Wail. That would allow me to set up my rune chants again. But Nazareth's just fun, and it's here. And it allows me to arsenal Mauve Skies. Yeah. Take that. Demon coming at you. This is fun. I'm so glad that we were able to get Oblivion off. That's hilarious. That's worth it. That's a good trade. Vexing for Demon. I'm into it. That's such a fun deck. I don't even care. I think it's not like C tier. It's like B tier at the worst. It might be A tier, especially if there's a more optimal build. So you're just gonna take 6 here. You crazy. Oh, yep. That's a thing. Never mind, they did have the reaction. I have no further reactions. You did it. Good job. Then we're just happy arsenaling here. So I could have given them the Deathly Whale, but hindsight's 2020. We're going to start our next turn with 5 Rune Chants, which is crazy. They just gave us that free red Mobskies hit. So we're happy. Oh, we could easily do some shenanigans. We could play this whole hand out. Oh my god. If we're willing to take damage. But they might just swing at Nazareth. They're swinging at us. Do I care? Is there an on hit here? No. Do I care? I don't care. We're gonna smash you, aren't we? I'm getting brazen. Uh-oh. This. And then we do this. We do it all, don't we? Yes. We do this. We do this. No, I don't think so. Then, now we have 6 rune. We could have Oblivioned again. We have 6 Rune Chants. Craziness. I have 2 float, so I can follow this up with Deathly Delight. I could follow it up with Nazareth, which is something I also need to think about. So, okay, let's annihilate. Boop, 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 boop. 8. Go to 4 if you want to take this. Nah, you're going to give me some cards. Give me your cards. Do we want this in Arsenal? I think I just keep swinging with Nazareth. It's too much value. This is fine in Arsenal. It's a 2 cost. I'm not going to end with any Rune Chants, which is fine. There could have been some creeper shenanigans here if I really wanted to play that turn like super optimally, maybe. Could have creepered the Mobskies in and it would have allowed me to go. No, I'm short 1 resource. I didn't have to play the Envelop in Darkness. Yeah, there was a line there where I could have creepersed in either the Envelop or the Mobskies. And I could have gone 1 white. I could have played the Deathly Delight out and Nazareth. So that's something to consider. Not playing super optimally, but again, we're learning. So another Steelblade Shunt here. Cool. That's fine. You can give me your cards. Keep swinging for 6, I think, right? Why not? Why not? So this is a turn. I'm really glad I have Roomblade Incantation up because it's going to be a little hard to grease the wheels. I get to start with 1, thankfully. But they're going to have to deal with this. I'm going to keep pressuring them with it, so... Sure. Okay, we have some defensiveness. Lots of reds again, which is a bit awkward, especially with Envelop that we want to play. So we're just going to present... Again, I don't know how this acts. I'm not reading it correctly, obviously, but I don't know how it interacts with Sink Below. Are you gonna... No, you're gonna wait to see what I do. What do we sink? I wish we could sink my arsenal. It is now very awkward. Do we sink? We kind of need the Envelop in Darkness. If I go Mobskies Envelop, that's pretty good. I don't know if we sink. I can't because of the resources. That was dumb. I'm going to undo. I think they're going to be okay with that. I'm going to sink. I'm going to sink the Mobskies, I think. You can't sink from Arsenal, right? No. I don't know why it's green. No, it didn't help. Yeah, I wish I had Vexing at this point. But Vexing allowed us to do Oblivion, which was too much fun to pass up. Because I would banish this, but I'm not going to be able to get to 3. So I need to banish this. I need to pitch this, so that's okay. Because that's still a very scary turn. The thing is, I could just be swinging with Nazareth and still presenting lethal. I still think this is better. because the no. Yeah, the rune chants. Even we're not going to be able to. Yeah, I didn't have enough resources for creeper shenanigans either, so we're just going to go. This is just fine. It's still 12. Yeah, and they have to give me all of their cards, basically. So, yeah, -1. You're going to have to get rid of my Nazareth at some point. This mobs guys here is going to allow me to... Oh, that's just gross. Oh, this is good. This is a good hand. I can read the runes. Mobs guys, Deathly Wail off of Grimoire, and then Nazareth. I'm tempted to just take this. They don't have a hand. I take it, right? Because I can just do crazy shenanigans. Let's do the shenanigans. I think you die. Because I do this. Am I missing something? I don't think so. This. 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 Oh, they did swing at Nazareth. Oh, that's fine. That leaves me with a bunch of life, and I still do scary stuff. Yeah. GG's. That was interesting. I was not expecting that Dory build. Imagine, I think it was the wrong play to go. I should have just followed my heart and gone aggro, because that would have been even easier. But it's a new deck, right? And they're practicing and they're piloting a new deck as well. So I'm gonna queue up another game. We'll do some reflecting afterwards, maybe. But yeah, that was really fun. Interesting. Ooh, Levia. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go first. We're racing because we need to get them on the back foot. So I'm just gonna, you know what? I don't care. I'm not gonna think about it. No thinky. Just racy. All of my aggro pieces. Let's do it. Okay. What does our first turn look like? I'm not breaking Vexing on turn 1, so we're going to be banishing something. We're not going to be able to make a considerable amount of rune chance beyond the 1, and that's just fine. We can bank a widespread ruin, and then I think we just... Do we want to flail? No, because that's going to allow them to sink. Ooh. Oh, yeah. This is fun. I think we just pass. We Arsenal... Mob Skies. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a great hand. I love seeing blue, Envelop in Darkness, something, and then I have 2 ways of giving go again, which is crazy. And we have a banked Shadow. So this is going to be a very potentially punishing turn that we're going to have. We're going to have to take some damage here, likely. I could sink my Mob Skies off of Crown, because I have the Shadow Puppetry in hand. We'll see. We'll see what they present. Claw. We don't care about Claw. Did you banish? Does this have go again? What is happening? They didn't banish anything, did they? Okay. I think they just had an awkward hand. Yeah, that's fine. This. Okay, now we have our 2 rune chance. Opens up the playing field for us. If we have... Okay. I have to do some thinking. So, if we present Mob Skies and they let it hit, it opens up this next one. If they don't let it hit, if I hold back Envelop in Darkness, I can make 1 rune chant. We're still going to be 1 rune chant shy. So... Do I just play it out? I could still bank. Yeah, I think I do. So I think I'm going to go Envelop in Darkness. I don't... Oh, yeah, I do need to pitch, of course. I don't want to pay life. I'm not going to play an instant. Then we're going to present... Because it... Yeah, it's even harder. I think that's the play, because Envelop in Darkness makes it harder to block. And if they don't block it and they allow me to make my 2 rune chance, I'm coming in with the second thing. So this, I'm going to present Widespread Ruin. I think. Yeah. I don't know if it really matters. They're going to... So already Widespread Ruin is going to happen. We're both going to banish the top of my deck, which they might not care about. As Levia. This is going to be an 8, which is hard to get over. So they're going to have to give us a lot of cards if they don't want us to make our 2 rune chance, which they do. So that is fine. That is fine. So Deathly Whale, I always think about Deathly. We were at 3 there, easily. And Deathly Whale would have allowed us to bank. It's just so good. It's just so good. We flail here, right? We have the action point. We just flail. They're probably not going to want to block it. It's going to allow us to make 1 rune chant at the very least. Of course. And then we just happily Arsenal. And now we're set up for a scary turn, except we draw into nothing. But so this is where I don't know. Maybe I'm running... It's hard to gauge with, like, awkward hands happen once in a while, especially in Runeblade. But maybe I am running too many Go Again. And I've been accused of that in the past. I really like... do we care about a Quicken? We do have a banked... We have... Oh! That's awesome. I didn't even clue in. Flail, we lost a life, so at the end we banished the top of our deck as well. So that allowed us to bank a Runegate card. So with yellow mobs, guys, we can still try and come in with 2 wide. But we have cards here that we don't care to keep, I don't think. We need to banish 1. We don't need any resources, really. Do we want to try and draw into something off of Shadow Puppetry? Because we don't really need Shadow Puppetry. So maybe I go Crown, Blood Spill. I just need 2 cards. I need to banish Mauve Skies something. So do I just give them the other Shadow Puppetry too? Sure. Okay. And that'll allow us, if they do let us, because they're going to have to take damage at some point, we'll have a good amount of Runegate cards banked. So I think we're in a pretty good position here. So I'm going to go Mauve Skies. I'm going to present one of these, probably the scary one again. And they're not running a B, which is not great for them. They're presenting damage, and I'm taking damage by trying to, you know, set up, go wide. But I think it's worth it. Because it's just so punishing if they take damage. I have to really think about this. Do they want to give me Husk this early? Maybe. Maybe because they want to try and push us on the back foot. I don't know. Depends on what they have in hand, I suppose. But Levia really wants to keep. And she might be trying to do some shenanigans here, so I don't know. Yeah, they're really taking their time with this one. Trying to figure out what I have planned, maybe? Okay, you're going to give me 2. That is okay. Yeah, we just follow this up with Flail, and then we happily bank our Mauve Skies, and we're golden. I think we're in good shape. Give us out a Rune Chant. Thank you. Arsenal. Another yellow Mauve Skies, which is great with these 2 cost. So this is Go Again. What are you going to present to me after this? So we have... Ooh, we got a Deathly Whale off the top too, which is great. I might want to set that up too, though. So we want to keep a decent amount of these cards. Do I... Oh, man. I think we're going to have to take some damage here, unfortunately. We're going to have to pitch this yellow Mauve Skies, I think. So we're happy to block with 3. That doesn't really do much with this Dread Screamer. I just take 6. Let's take 6 and let's see what they present us. We might have to block with Husk here, I don't know. No, that's all they have. Okay. We might be getting greedy here. We're also getting 4 is a lot. I don't know. We don't need that many. I could double Mauve Skies because I could pitch this for the rune. Yeah, let's do that. Wow. Yeah. So we're at least going to go 2 wide. We might go 3 wide here depending on what they do. Let's go Phantom Wraith. Boop, boop. Do you want to block this? If you don't, you guarantee me another swing. Please don't. I would like to hit you very hard. Ah! The Husk. That's okay. We're gonna... Oh, you don't want to give me Husk. Yeah, you don't... You can take this. It's fine, right? Right. What's the worst that can happen? 2 rune chance? You can just give me Husk on the next one. Yeah, they did it. That's okay. So, what they don't know is we have another Mauve Skies. So we're just going to pop Quill Hand. We're going to play out another Mauve Skies. This is mean. We're going to... Sure, another Phantom Wraith. Why not? Another 6. And if you let it hit, you give me a Rune Chanto. You block 3. You give me your hand. You're not going to do much on your turn, which is cool. You going to sink your arsenal? What are you going to do? You are. I have no reactions. But I still have stuff to do. I'm going to play out Runeblood Incantation. Pitching this, I am going to Flail. This one you're just going to take. You're going to give me... So we're going to start our next turn with 3 Rune Chance, which opens up the field Deathly Wail, which is going to make deck go burr. Mauve Skies. Beautiful. Beautiful hand. Another beautiful hand. We are taking damage. Here we risk... This is like Husk is forced next turn if I take this. We don't need to take it though. I don't know if I want to give them creepers yet. Because creepers can make for very, very scary stuff. I don't care to keep Spellblade Assault, I don't think. Maybe I do. Damn it, I want to keep everything. Okay, taking it. Because this is all they have here, right? Hopefully. Yeah, we're forced off of Husk. Uh-oh. Ah. Yeah, okay, you get Husk. That's fine. That is fine. That is fine. I'm glad. Blessing in disguise. Okay. I think we banish the Spellblade Assault. Because we want pitch. We don't have an arsenal, do we? I can't remember. No. We want the Mauve Skies. We want all of this. I think we care less about this. I don't know if that's right or not. So again, I think we need to just preemptively buff to make it even harder and more punishing. So we go envelop, pitching. Yes, because we want to pay life here because we're presenting Deathly Wail and a Mauve Skies. Oh, we are at a lower life total. They could dirtle us, but that's a really dangerous game to play as Levia, so I feel okay still. They have something that can be played at instant speeds. So yeah, this is 8, threatening 3 Rune Chance, which would open up swing with Deathly Delight. Otherwise, I think we just flail, go to 12. I think that's fine. But they can't just give me, they can't give me, and they don't have Husk anymore. They have to give me like their hand. Yeah, they do. Because they can't let Mauve Skies trigger. That's okay. Because they're going to be dying. They're going to kill themselves pretty soon, I think. Maybe they're trying to get to that. Is it 13? Yeah. We'll see. This is an interesting game for sure. They're doing a good job keeping us in check, though. But our blood debt is far less threatening than their blood debt. Did they just go up a life? I'm confused. Yep. So we are on 3 rune chants now with Deathly Whale. And we have more Deathly Whales. That's amazing. We can give them all... Oh! Interesting. That's awesome. Okay. That is cool, but scary. Cool, but scary. But we can give them cards. Can we? We can give them a card comfortably. Oh no, I don't have to deal with this either, though. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Did they plasma fed? They didn't banish though. Are they going to take 10 blood debt? So we're going to give them... On our turn, we want to play out Deathly Whale, I think, because we want to just keep the engine going at this point. So I think I'd like to keep Envelop in Darkness as well. I might be getting greedy. Because we could just easily bank this and just present Deathly Whale without the extra rune chant. I think that's good too. You just block 6. I don't want to attack that. We're just going to dirtle up a bit. I think that's fine. Yep. They're taking blood debt like nobody's business. And we're just going to keep presenting very threatening things. So we just present this. I think that's enough. Ugh. If we attack Blasphemophet, they still take 5. No, I need them. Wait, is it? Did they flop? No, they didn't. What is this? Can't I target them? I guess that counts for them. I'm confused. Or maybe they did flip. And Talashar's not representing it? Is that why they're at 13 life? I'm not sure I know what's going on right now. That's okay. Oh, we weren't even able to take life ourselves. We're only going to make 1 rune chant here. Which is fine, because we're going to bank this Envelop in Darkness. What are you? Are you a different Levia? What are you doing? Oh my god, I'm scared. They go to 2. They have to kill us. Can they kill us? Maybe. Maybe. Interesting game. Very interesting game. What Levia are you? Art of War. Whoa. That's the thing about playing against new heroes, too. I have no idea what the game plan is here. What is happening, really. They have Blasphemophat, which is scary enough on its own. But they're going to do other stuff. We're at 8. We just need to survive. They're going to do some... Did they banish this turn? I'm confused. They must have. If a card with 6 or more has been put into your banish zone this turn, its power and toughness are 6. So they have. But blood debt's still on. I think they're a different Levia. I'm confused. I'm confused. We're just going to block, though. We're just going to do a bunch of blocking, because we already have... Yeah, we have Deathly Delight, so we need to keep 2 cards, ideally. Just give them 6. See what happens. See what happens. I'm so confused with the... I don't know what the other Levias do at this point. Okay. Goliath Gauntlet. You're going to present a big attack. Even if we don't keep a hand, Another Art of War? Wait, what? Oh, that's how they're banishing. I got it. I got it. Are they just digging to not die? Also, where, like... Oh, they are them. So they're Levia consumed. I think that's what this means. Again, I'm like a noob when it comes to Talishar. Once per turn, you can play a card with Blood Debt from Banished. Whenever a card is put into your Banished Stone, turn it face down. If you would... lose. Oh, it's going to consume their deck. That's right. Oh, this is going to be tough. They're not going to die from Blood Debt, essentially. Ooh, this is interesting. New Leviah is very interesting. This also has Go again, so they're going to follow this up with Blasphemous. They're really putting the gas on. So, yeah, there's no way I'm keeping both these cards. So I think I just give them... Is there a non-hit here? No. I'm going to 2. Yeah. Do they have AB? I think they just died a... This is a really interesting. It's going to be very close. I think I just go to 2. That's fine. Boop, boop, boop. Unless you have more. And then, if so, GG's. Very GG's. They could claw, maybe? Nope. So we go to 2. And then we kill them. No! Yeah, we do. We do. Thanks to Rune Blood Incantation. I almost had a heart attack. I didn't think we had the 2 rune chance. But we had to give them hand. So we were forced into this position, and we may just win off of AB. You. Boop, boop. GG's. Holy moly. That was a game. So we were able to keep pressure on. I think that's what it really came down to. The deck is capable of outputting quite a bit of damage. Playing against a hero that I don't know yet, because it's another new hero with really cool abilities. I think Leviah is really, really interesting too. I don't know if I want to go down that rabbit hole, especially because I am going down that rabbit hole with Vynnset, but more of a Leviah specialist is going to figure that deck out for sure. It seems really cool. There are some really, really neat things you can do with it. So, anyways, let's say GG's to our opponent, and that was a very, very interesting game. It took some figuring out, but anyways, Vynnset, super, super fun. I hope you guys, let me know in the comment section if you have any suggestions, tweaks to the build that I have right now, the core or the sideboard. Again, I've kind of settled. I made several changes, several iterations of the deck so far. I probably have like 40-ish. Well, we can look. And don't judge my stats too much, because this was a lot of testing early on. We're at a 38% win rate, 39 matches. Coming up on 40 matches. I'm not very good into the mirror. I've played a lot of people are running this deck. Bolton seems to be a tough matchup for me, but I'm consistently beating Lexi, who is at the top of their game right now. Fi, like these super aggro decks that you wouldn't expect this deck to be that good against, really good, turns out. Fi, I just I sub in my my defense reactions, and you can just outvalue them over the long term. Dash felt doable, like beatable too. The Bravos, whatever. I don't think none of these losses were like terribly one-sided though. I really think there's something here. And again, this might not be the optimal build. I'm probably not playing it. I'm definitely not playing in an optimal way, but lots of fun. I really look forward to further testing, seeing where this deck goes, seeing what it's capable of. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the content today. If you did, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll talk to you again real soon, okay? Cheers, everybody.